Welcome back, viewers, to another LBS Responds To. This is episode number 88. This is the weekly Q&A series I do here at my channel, where basically I take all of your guys' questions, whether it's LEGO related, Star Wars related, or anything to do with anything else on the planet right now, and I will answer it. And if it's not answered this week, guys, be sure to leave it down below, and I will probably answer it next week. So without further ado, guys, this is going to be a pretty big episode. I'm not uploading tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Happy pre-Thanksgiving to everyone. Hopefully you guys all have a great time, a great meal tomorrow. And so I'm definitely thankful for all of you guys, and thankful for anyone that's going to be watching this video. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So starting off with the first one, we have Keith Crane. He says, love the longer Q&A. Thank you so much. He says, I really value your thoughts. He said, did you buy anything on VIP weekend, and why or why not? So I personally did not. I really had nothing on my want list, and nothing that I needed for double VIP. Nothing that I can't just get at Walmart or Target on a regular day, and for a lot cheaper. But my dad actually did go there. He went on Sunday morning. He got a pretty big haul himself. I'll throw up the picture. He spent about $300. He got all the promos. I'm a little jealous, of course. I would love to be able to just drop $300 like that, but quite frankly, there's just really nothing I needed. The next purchases I'm really going to make are January 1st with the new Star Wars stuff, and possibly one or two of those Avatar sets, depending on how much I like that new movie. Then also another question he had, he says, also maybe a separate video idea, but I'd like your thoughts on the LEGO GWPs, maybe even a 2022 review of the best and worst and what to pursue, not to pursue in 2023. So yeah, to answer that really quickly, I'll be quite frank, I really only, care about these Star Wars promos in the grand scheme of things. I'll probably never make too many videos about kind of just random ones. If anything, maybe I'll discuss about them in a news video or, maybe some investing videos. But nonetheless, GWP-wise, I really only ever focus on the Star Wars ones. So I'll definitely have some May the 4th, stuff coming out next year. Whatever news we hear about, whatever rumors we hear about, and probably just kind of, maybe do even a set ideas video, kind of a promo idea video. But nonetheless, thanks for the questions, man, and I appreciate you, man. So next up, we have Luke Taylor. They say, do you think LEGO would ever do another out-of-the-box type Star Wars set again like they did with the Christmas X-Wing, but instead of as a retail set? So, in my opinion, to answer that very shortly, I don't think so at all. Of course, the Christmas X-Wing was just a employee gift. They only made, maybe 1,000 of them, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I'm not too sure on that, but, nonetheless, it was kind of a one-off thing. Really did not have to worry about selling it, of course. They kind of, made that with the intention of not making any money off of it. You know what I mean? They made it for free, gave them out for free. They weren't worried about, actually making a profit off the set. So, they were fine with making that. Didn't really have to worry about, would people actually care about it. So, I think stuff like this, at the end of the day, is a very niche market, as is. There's only so many people that would want to buy it, say, for, if this retails for $120 on the shelf, it's really only going to be desirable for maybe 1 or 2 months to the mass public. And other than that, it would just really be people like, us, say, that, go ahead and buy, 2 or 3 of them for, long-term purposes. But I think they're really going to kind of stray away from that. I will probably never see anything like this on the shelf. They'll definitely probably just keep this stuff for more, Christmas, gifts. And, they have a Friends one coming out this year, which, definitely, when you compare it to that Christmas X-Wing, that's crazy. They definitely downgraded there. But, and then also maybe best case scenario, maybe we'll eventually get some promo material, kind of, with fancy stuff like this. But I think for an actual retail set, I think that's basically 0% chance, man. So next up, we have Sun and Brick Productions. He says, which LEGO Imperial Trooper needs to be remade the most? Amazing video. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. So I've got 2 answers to this question. I have the kind of, realistic, statistical answer, and also my answer. So the realistic one, if we're talking about actual length between being made, I think would be the Imperial Shock Trooper, Stormtrooper. Definitely pretty obscure. I definitely don't care about getting any more of those guys. Kind of uncanon. Do we really need those guys? I don't think so. But my honest answer, what I want to see next, would be more Shore Troopers, of course. So there's the answer to that. So next up, we have Jammy Dodger. They say, ask LBS, when do you think we will see plain clone troopers in an easier way than the command station? By the way, love the videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much for that comment and the question. So we answer that really quickly. First off, I think if they were to do any more plain white clones, I'm just being realistic here. I sadly have to say, I think they would go probably phase 1 again. I think they would probably use those same exact white clones. I just got a bad feeling they're gonna, wait a little while, skimp out, maybe even forget about, phase 2 white clones. We would all rather have those, but in my opinion, I think the next realistic thing we might see those guys in is possibly the next bigger kind of play skill set. Whether that's a Republic gunship, a turbo tank. I think realistically, as much as I think they're going to go another Legion in those sets, it's also the strongest possibility of maybe they will just go maybe one random commander and maybe 2 or 3 white clones there. Maybe they will go kind of back to the 2013 thing and give us that the clone captain, the dark red clone captain, and then maybe 2 or 3 more of those guys. But I think the biggest layup for them that they could do right now would have been for 2023 to actually just have another $15 accessory pack, having Phase 2 White Clone Troopers. Dream Battle Pack that I don't think we'll ever get ever again, and probably have no hopes for, would be, 2 Phase 2 plain white clones, and then, 2 other, colored clones in a nice little battle pack. But I don't think we'll ever get that, but I think realistically, probably maybe one of the next, play scale sets, up in that, $100, $150 range. So there's that. So next up we have a Brick Cut, and to basically summarize up their question, they're basically asking, do I think there'll ever be any Lego Star Wars sets that are kind of multicolor, or kind of maybe 3-in-1, or kind of just different designs, where if you buy one set you can actually get say multiple things out of it. At least that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. He's basically just talking about different colored X-wings, maybe out of the same set. Although I think look, for what it's worth, I don't think we'll ever get anything like that. I think the most realistic thing, I don't think we'll ever be able to color swap in the same set. I think that's just gonna be way too many pieces. For the value, kind of really not even make too much sense. But I think the most realistic thing, and I don't know who actually brought up this idea. It was not me that thought of it about this. I know someone brought it up maybe a year or two ago, and I was kind of thinking about it. That would be a fantastic idea. Would be if they were to make like a $60 like build your own TIE fighter set. You get what I'm saying? Where then basically how that set would work is say you pay $60, and basically at the end of it you can just build a regular TIE fighter, a TIE bomber, TIE advanced, TIE defender. Basically build anything out of it. We have like 550 pieces, where all those pieces are mix and match, where you can build any TIE fighter you want. You could buy 10 of those sets and build 10 TIE bombers. You could build 4 interceptors and maybe 6 TIE crawlers. Like, that would be really, really cool. I think that would be a great idea for Lego. I mean, they would sell a lot of those. I mean, think about that. For a nice little, $60 set where you could build any TIE fighter you want, I think that's pretty much probably the closest we'll ever get to possibly having like a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1 or a multi kind of vehicle thing within the same retail set. But there's my opinion. Next up, we have that boy Rick. He says, would you consider doing movie/TV reviews on the Extra LifeBricks channel? I always like the mini reviews you usually do in your Insta story, so I think some videos would be cool too. So I appreciate it, man. And yes, I do. I do a lot of movie reviews, and it's a lot more personable stuff over on my Instagram, of course. A lot easier to post over there, and it doesn't really take up making a video and kind of flooding the channel. But I do have a second channel now, guys. If you guys are not subscribed, but basically the Extra LifeBricks channel is pretty much everything but the Lego. There's still a little bit of Lego over there. Pretty much anything that I feel like does not warrant a full video on this channel will be over there, but primarily it's going to be all the non-Lego stuff. So if you guys want to stay up to date with me on pretty much everything I'm collecting outside of Lego, some personal things, some vlogs, movie reviews, TV show reviews. Right now I've actually got the Walking Dead finale review. I've been a big Walking Dead fan for the past 10 years. I watched that. I gave a little review over there, and I think from here on out I'll probably definitely be doing movie reviews. I think probably the next one I'm doing is the Avatar 2 review when it comes out, December 16th. I think I'm definitely going to see that day one. Probably post up a review over there. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that type of stuff, short little maybe 4 or 5 minute reviews. And I'm not a movie expert, I'm not a TV show expert, but I'll definitely happily give my opinion, and that's where you guys can get those. So definitely go subscribe to Extra LifeBricks if you guys want to stay up to date on everything but the Lego. Thanks for the question, man. So Barack Obama now says, do you think there's a possibility of getting B2 Super Battle Droids in a set in 2023? And actually, so the Lego Star Wars designer said about a couple weeks ago, I believe back in actually August probably when they filmed that, basically they're saying that the Super Battle Droids will not be in another set until they actually redo them. So the design that we've had since 2006 or whatever, 2005, will not ever be in another set. Sadly, I really like that design. I think there's definitely a few flaws there. No prints on it. Prone to cracking, and basically they say until we redesign it, we'll never see them again in another set. So I personally think 2023 is probably a little too soon to see those guys with kind of how they were talking about it back in August of this year, and the fact of the matter that a lot of their stuff is done a year in advance, year and a half in advance. Where I think probably the earliest we'll see another Super Battle Droid would be 2024, and at that point it would be a whole different redesign of it. So I'm pretty excited for it. I can't wait till we start getting more of those, in sets, and I hope, their redesign is cool. Maybe at least bare minimum put that little red dot, the little red eye on them. But yeah, there's that. I definitely don't think 2023 though, man. So next up we have Nomoa. They say, do you like when Lego makes non-canon clones like the Geonosis 187 and etc.? And I personally do not at all. I think there's a lot of stuff on the table that Lego still needs to make. Remakes of Shock Troopers. They need to make some sort of 327th Trooper. 212 Phase 1. 501st Phase 1. Like, there are so many actual canon clone troopers they can make still. Where I'm very devastated when we see something like 187th in a fighter tank. Like that is the most irrelevant thing ever. I think for that fighter tank they really should have done Maybe another Ayla Secura. Give us a Phase 2 Commander Blythe. Give us 2 Phase 2 327th clones, and that set would have been perfect. I mean, I don't care if it's too similar to the 2017 one. That would have been a big upgrade on the minifigure, selection. And, personally, uncanon clones, I don't like them at all, so there's that. So speaking of fighter tanks, actually, we have a question from LeaderCool86. They say, do you think that the current Republic fighter tank will go up in price after it retires like the last two? So my honest answer to that is I don't think it will go up as much as the last two at all. At least not as quick. I've said this a lot. I make some investing videos on this channel. I'm a Lego investor myself. I really do think the market is pretty saturated, at least in the short term, for a lot of stuff. It's just the truth of the matter that say when that fighter tank retires at the end of next year, just hypothetically, it will take every bit of 1 year, if not a year and a half, just for kind of the common supply of the people that just want to make a little bit of money, sell theirs, and then it's just a few people left. It will take probably twice as long, and unlike 2017 and especially 2008, we did not have this mass, kind of population of Lego investors. You get what I'm saying? So there was a lot less, people investing in it, keeping it sealed, let alone buying multiple of them. I highly doubt Lego was actually producing as many Lego sets back then to begin with. I would assume they're probably producing every bit of 2, 3, or 4, 4x the actual supply of, say, the 2008 one. So there's a lot more out there in circulation, a lot more people out there buying them. So I would say, look, out of if I'm comparing, say, that set to the $40 Imperial Marauder, I definitely think the fighter tank will be better, in the shorter term. I definitely think in a scenario like that, when you compare, say, the 1 year ROI, I will always go fighter tank over these, say, some of these other sets. And definitely one thing that's kind of going against it now is, in my opinion, it's a pretty bad design as is. And there's, uncanon, 187th clones in there where I understand, the clone selection of the last two aren't the best, but at least for current market, with how easy it is to, say, just buy the clones separately and just kind of army build them separately, there, I feel like won't be as many people wanting a sealed copy of this set, compared to, say, the other two, at least in recent history. So there's my thoughts on that, but again, it's all kind of subjective. I can't predict the future, but I definitely, in my opinion, don't think it will be as much as the last two. So next up, we have I Am Joy. And basically, to summarize up their question, basically asking about a whole bunch of sets, they have sealed right now, should they open them? And I'll just be, honest with you. I know you've asked this for the past couple weeks. I'll answer it now. I don't really have too true of an answer for you because it's all really, your own subjective opinion. If I was in your shoes, I personally would not open up either one of those. My opinion is a lot of these older sets I have, especially if I got them back in the day, for, say, retail, especially on sale, it's really hard for me to open up, retired sealed sets, if I'm not actually buying them for that purpose. It's one thing if I were to go out and buy a UCS Imperial shuttle right now today, spend $1,200 on it with the intention of actually building it, then I'd have no problem with it. That's why I bought it. I knew I spent that money for it, but it's pretty hard when I say I bought a set for $30 back in 2015 and now it's worth like $250. It's pretty damn hard for me to just crack that seal right now and kind of lose almost all that value there. So in my opinion, I wouldn't do it, but again, it's all kind of up to you. How do you want to collect? Do you really need those minifigures? So sadly, I think that's basically as good of an answer as I can give you. So thanks for the question, and definitely let me know what you do with them when you finally decide. So next up, we have Landini. They say, hey, I was thinking, when do you think we could see a new turbo tank? The 2016 one was rather underwhelming compared to the 2010. So, actually looking back, it's pretty, coincidental, that the, Lego group has actually made almost as many turbo tanks as, say, an ATT or a gunship. It's definitely kind of on their list to do, I feel, because, we've had 4 ATTs, 3 Republic gunships, and I guess not including the UCS one, but the turbo tank, we've also had 3 of them. So we've had the 2005 one, we have the 2010 one, we have the 2016 one. So I definitely think it's probably coming up here pretty soon. I would not doubt possibly even a 2024 release. I don't think 2023. I think 2023, as much as there's Clone Wars stuff's coming out next year, I think there's really going to focus on the episode 6 stuff also, where I think we're only going to get a couple kind of maybe medium scale Clone Wars stuff, and then maybe the higher end stuff be episode 6. I don't really blame Lego. Turbo Tank in 2024, I definitely think is probably the soonest we'll ever get it, and with a nice new Clone Legion in there, which hopefully a canon one. Maybe at that point, give us, maybe just give us, Commander Gree again, an updated Commander Gree, a couple new updated, Scout Troopers, and Arkashik Troopers, and pretty much call it there. So that's my opinion on that. I think 2024 at the earliest. So next up we have Lego Dane. They say, why doesn't Lego change their winter wave release date to just before December so they can earn extra money on the Christmas sale? In my opinion, I think the answer to that is just strictly because they don't have to. So if we think about it, in December, with all these sets they already have out here, all of us are still buying Lego sets. Most of the time, a lot of these Lego collectors still have a couple sets, on their want list, for Christmas gifts, maybe a birthday gift, sale gifts and everything like that. Basically, I don't think it's so much clearing out inventory, much more so than it's just, look, I mean, in December, all the people that are going to be buying Lego for other people, or know people that like Lego, will be buying a Lego set regardless. No matter what it is, whether it's a 2021 set, 2022 set, they don't need a brand new 2023 set to come out, say, December 15th, just to get that for a Christmas gift. Of course, that would be ideal, I'm not gonna lie. For the average customer, of course, that would be perfect. A lot of us would want that. I personally don't really care about that too much. With all that being said, of course, come January 1st, then, after the holidays, of course, people have Christmas money. They get a lot of money from the holiday season, a couple bonus checks maybe by the end of the year, if they're working, and going into the next couple months, say January, February, March, where there's nothing else going on, maybe some slow months, at least they'll have new sets out there with incentive of customers wanting to go out, get that new TIE Bomber day one, give them money, say January 15th, when if they came out the month beforehand, they would have bought it December 15th, and say not maybe bought some of those other older sets that are maybe a little bit lower on their want list, but they still wanted a Lego set for the holiday season, where then say January through March, literally, I mean, their sales will be pretty much nothing at that point. If they released everything December 1st instead of January 1st, the bulk of people will be paying that money, say in December, and not be buying as much older stuff. So I think strictly the answer is just because they don't have to. But if you guys have any other ideas as to why they do that, definitely let me know down below. But there's that. So next up we have Josiah Cato, and basically they ask the question right here. I'll pop up on the screen. Also, I'll pop up a little tutorial, quick little video. I don't really have to say anything about this, but I have a little screen recording right here that I'll play as I'm talking. Basically just showing you, I think, exactly what you're asking for. It's really not too hard. It's just a nice little simple couple clicks. But if this is not what you're asking about, definitely leave that down below and I'll try to answer it separately. But I'm pretty sure this is the answer to your question. So next up we have Andrew Nielsen, and he says, do you purchase minifigures on Whatnot? I personally don't really. I only really ever buy from Minifigure Dreams and Maddie's Minifigures. They have the best deals over there. I like to buy from them, quick shipping, and I know both of them. But other than that, I pretty much got out of the Whatnot game pretty hardcore a few months ago. I was in there for about a month or two. I actually kind of got sponsored by them. I had a very good month of 0% commission. Did quite a few auctions over there. I made a little bit of money, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely like what they're doing over there, but I think that got really saturated, and I am quite frankly sick of seeing Whatnot stuff, especially from Lego YouTubers. So personally, I do buy a little bit over there, but it's just very saturated, man. I think it's a lot better for buyers than sellers. But yeah. So next up we have Zijo Smolders, and he basically has two questions right here. First one being, where would you like to go on holiday or vacation in the USA and abroad? Are you interested in traveling? And yes, I am. I'm very interested in traveling. I've had a lot of plans over the past couple of years to be doing quite a few things, but a lot of stuff kind of just fell out of place. Not even just the whole world stuff, but even my personal life stuff, where traveling really wasn't in my means, budgetary wise, and no one to really say do it with, or kind of know where to go. But I definitely think a couple of the main places I would like to go, Hawaii and Florida, are probably my top two in the U.S. And then out of the country, I got to be honest, Australia has always been on my list. I feel mainly just for the wildlife. I like how it's a little bit warmer over there as well. I feel like Australia is probably one of the closest countries to America, I feel. Not that that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but I feel like, Australia would be a nice little spot to go for, say, my first time out of the U.S. And, I'd like to be able to go on some of those safari things and hopefully not get, killed by a wildlife creature over there. I know they got some crazy stuff, but growing up, I was a pretty big animal guy, so going over there to see a lot of that stuff in the nature would be pretty cool. So there's that. So then he's got a second question here, which is a very long one. To summarize it up, is basically just how do I feel like the U.S. economy has been, and how has it been affecting me? So me personally, really, nothing's been changing aside from just gas prices going up. I luckily don't have really too much of my own stuff to pay for. I buy groceries for myself here and there, which I guess on a few things you can tell it's going up. But mainly the one thing that's been affecting me is just gas price. I drive quite a lot. I've got a pretty fuel efficient car, but not crazily, I guess. Depending on how you drive it, you get what I'm saying. So if I drive it nicely, I get 35 miles a gallon. If I drive it rough, I get 13 miles a gallon. So gas prices have definitely been up. Back in pre-COVID times, or early COVID times when I first got that car, I was paying $1.80 a gallon. Filling up for legitimately $25, and now it's costing me $70. So other than that, that's basically about it. And like I said, you know, I look into it a little bit here and there. I try not to care that much. Again, it's not truthfully affecting me right now as a person, so I don't really have to look into it too much, but I definitely know what's going on, and everything that's going on in the world is pretty crazy. Just think about it. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, who would have ever thought that, you know, the world would be doing the stuff it's doing now? So there's that, and, you know, I hate to see other countries, you know, getting affected even more. I'm, you know, very fortunate that, you know, for the most part, USA has a pretty good foundation behind it, but there's definitely still some things going through, and definitely some cracks in it that, you know, are affecting the regular everyday person, including myself. So there's that. So next up, we have Alex Stackovac, and he basically says, what is your personal thoughts about fake Lego or Chinese Lego? So I've actually been meaning to make a video on this topic for a couple months now, basically talking about how I think actually buying fake Lego, you are losing money instead of actually saving money. So I know that's a lot of people's thing, you know, hey, look, I'd rather buy a fake version for $80 compared to buying a real version for, you know, $200. But there's a lot of stuff going into it where I truthfully think you are losing money when you're buying that type of stuff. And as is, I'll never support that. And quite frankly, bottom line of it too, a big percentage of it, like 50-60% of it, is I personally just feel pretty gross whenever I start touching that Chinese stuff. You know, there's been times in the past where, say, I'm going through a bulk lot, or I get a you know, a lot off of eBay. There's a fake minifigure where every single time I touch a fake Lego brick, or especially like a fake Lego minifigure, I just really feel just icky about it, and you know, I have to go upstairs, you know, wash my hands 5 times over, and it's just the truth of it. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me, and just the fakeness of it. You know, you never truly know what factory it was made in, you know, how was it made, what the material actually is. So just everything going against it. I will personally never in a million years buy anything fake. You know, there's plenty of, you know, knockoff, you know, Ford Mustang things, or you know, Walking Dead stuff, like where I would technically kind of love to get that stuff. You know, of course, you know, like some of my main passions, you know, the Lego does not make themselves, but fake Lego, I will never do it in my opinion. I wouldn't be able to, quite frankly. You know, I would never be able to do it. If you gave me some of that stuff for free even, I would still not build it. I mean, I've actually got a few, I'll openly admit right here, I've got a few fake Lego minifigures upstairs actually, that I've been meaning to make a couple TikToks with, a couple little funny TikToks, and I've been procrastinating mainly for the fact I don't want to open up the bags they're in and start touching them. That's like, I'll have to probably wear gloves, but that's just me. Again, kind of an icky thing for me. I just don't really like the thought of it, but yeah, there's my thoughts. You guys will never see that on this channel pretty much, so yeah, there's that. So that's all the questions for this week, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. If your questions were not answered today, be sure to leave them down below for next week, and I'll probably get to them. I like to keep these around, you know, 10 to 15 questions per video. So again, if your question is not answered, I do feel bad, but definitely just keep on leaving it down there. Just copy and paste it from the last video. And more than likely, like I said, there's very few things off limits in this series where, you know, even if it takes, say, 2 or 3 weeks, I will eventually get to it. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving tomorrow. Definitely let me know down below what you guys are doing. I'm personally not doing anything. I'm just sitting around, just working still. So with all that being said, guys, that's all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving tomorrow in the USA. If you guys do celebrate it, definitely let me know down below what you guys are doing. And with all that being said, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for you guys later. Bye, guys, and stay safe.